In this video, I want to look at order of operations. And a lot of people remember this as PEMDAS, which stands for parentheses, exponents, multiplication, division, addition, and subtraction. However, this can lead to some problems and some misunderstandings. What we should really do, we start with grouping symbols, which is denoted by parentheses in PEMDAS. Any kind of parentheses, brackets, braces, anything like that, we want to do operations inside of those first. Second, we want to look at exponents. Perform any kind of exponential operations. Next, we want to multiply and divide left to right, so we are actually doing these in the same step. We read our problem from the left to the right and perform any multiplication or division as we come across them. We then add and subtract, once again moving from left to right. So multiply and divide are actually at the same level. We do them at the same time. Same thing with addition and subtraction. So let's look at some examples. Let's start off with a simple one, 3 times 8 minus 2. So the first step is grouping symbols, which we can see here. So this is what we need to do first, is what's inside parentheses. Well, 8 minus 2 is 6, so that block changes to a 6. We don't have any exponents, so next we multiply. 3 times 6, which would give me 18. So I have my solution. So let's look at some more complicated ones. Let's look at 7 minus 8 times 2 squared. The first step is always parentheses or grouping symbols. 7 minus 8 is negative 1 times 2 squared. Next we have exponentials, so we need to do the 2 squared. That gives me 4. We then multiply and divide left to right, so negative 1 times 4 is negative 4, and I have my solution. Next, negative 5 squared times 3 divided by 5 plus 9. We don't have any grouping symbols since there's really nothing inside of this parentheses. So the first step is the exponential. Negative 5 squared is 25 times 3 divided by 5 plus 9. Now that we've done exponentials, we need to multiply and divide left to right. The first thing we have is a multiplication, 25 times 3. That's 75 divided by 5 plus 9. Next, we have a division if I move left to right. 75 divided by 5 is 15. And then finally, 15 plus 9 is 24. So my solution here would be 24. Let's look at something even more complicated. Here I actually have 2 parentheses. And when we have multiple parentheses like this that are separated, it doesn't matter which one we start with. So let's start with this first one here. Well, the first thing I need to do inside this parentheses is the exponent, since the second step would be exponentials. 2 squared is 4. So we have 4 minus 9 divided by negative 10 plus 5 times negative 2. Now I can finish out this parentheses. Negative 4 minus 9 is negative 5 divided by negative 10 plus 5 times negative 2. Now I'm going to work on my next parentheses here. Negative 10 plus 5 is negative 5. And now we need to multiply and divide left to right. So as I'm reading left to right, the first thing I come across is a division. Negative 5 divided by negative 5. And that's 1 times negative 2. And then my final operation, 1 times negative 2, is negative 2. So I have my solution. Next, let's look at 4 divided by parentheses 2 plus 3 minus 9, and then all of that times 10 squared. So the first step is to look inside parentheses. So here I have this huge parentheses here. However, inside of a grouping symbol, we need to still follow order of operations. And the first thing in order of operations is parentheses. So the first thing I'm going to do is this. Whenever I have these nested grouping symbols, parentheses inside of parentheses, I want to start with the innermost possible one. And as we do this, we need to add or subtract left to right. 2 plus 3 is 5. So we have 4 divided by 5 minus 9, all times 10 squared. And then we can do the 5 minus 9. So it's 4 divided by negative 4 times 10 squared. We can now finish out our grouping symbols by doing 4 divided by negative 4. That's negative 1 times 10 squared. Now that we're finally done with grouping, we can deal with exponents. 10 squared is 100. And then the very last operation we have here, negative 1 times 100, gives me my final answer of negative 100.